Have you ever wondered why Bad Bunny seems to wear this straw hat and why we see it again during his Super Bowl performance? Here we can go into a whole depth analysis with all the symbols that we see during his Super Bowl halftime performance. However, I'm going to stick to just one major one today. The straw hat that we see Bad Bunny wearing in his music videos, performances, is called La Pava. La Pava is a wide-brimmed hat commonly seen made from straw. Traditionally, La Pava is actually made by dried leaves, and in most cases is made from the Puerto Rican hat palm. Simply, this hat resembles agricultural labor, pride, and the resilience of Puerto Rico. Largely, this hat would be worn by jibaros. Jibaros were rural farmers. These were the sugarcane cutters, the coffee pickers, and other agricultural workers. They would wear this hat for protection from the sun. The symbolism of this hat would reach more notoriety in 1938 as Luis Muñoz Marin founded the Popular Democratic Party, which adopted the Pava symbol. This party advocates for sustaining and enhancing Puerto Rico's Commonwealth status, opposing statehood. The PDP believes in self-governance, economic development, and social welfare within the U.S. territory. They aim to protect the interests of the working class and impoverished Puerto Ricans, connecting back to the symbol of La Pava, the symbol of hard work and humble beginnings. Jibaros are like the foundation of Puerto Rico. People on the island depend on jibaros every day, like things like plátanos or plantains, coffee, milk, veggies, poultry, and just other forms of produce. And as of 2022, the agricultural industry in Puerto Rico accounts for approximately $703 million in total production value, which is a 45% increase from the year 2018. And let me know if anybody that actually lives on the island or used to live on the island of what this crisis looked like from your experience or from other people's experiences. Also, it seems as though most farmers on the island make an average household income of less than $20,000, while the average in the US ranges from $60,000 to $100,000, and that's just for the common median middle class salary, which is a crazy amount in difference in comparison. And then these farmers received, especially from Hurricane Maria in 2017, a lack of federal aid, resulting in many farmers to be self-reliant in building local-led food systems. Even after Hurricane Maria, many farmers had limited access to things like electricity and water to function farming operations. As well, the hurricane damaged a lot of their crops, and moreover, there are policies that do cover losses due to hurricanes. However, they don't cover anything for things like tropical storms or any other damages for farmers. Then Puerto Rico receives a significantly low amount of Medicaid that is less than 15%, that places strict restrictions on funding for things like social, federal, or agricultural programs. And just to check in, if you guys made it this far, comment down a Puerto Rican flag, and if you like it, go ahead and like this video. So interestingly enough, 40% or approximately 1 million Puerto Ricans on the island deal with food insecurity. Yet 85% of their food is imported to other countries, including the US as its primary beneficiary. Then, as I stated before, the PDP opposes Puerto Rico becoming another state of the United States, as they believe it would strip Puerto Rico's unique identity and culture. This party favors Puerto Rico as a commonwealth. However, there are members that seek things like free association relationship with the United States, meaning that they seek to have more of an autonomous relationship with the US and still maintain American citizenship. Then the new Progressive Party, PNP, favors Puerto Rico being a state of the United States. Now, this could look like 3.4 million residents from the island receive full voting rights like those from the states, and they will receive equal funding and federal programs like Medicaid and Social Security. Also, there's a possibility of higher minimum wage, but this can indeed shift American politics as the states will gain additional 2 senators and have more House representatives. Also, with Puerto Rico becoming a state, it can significantly increase tax revenue and federal spending up to billions of dollars. And then again, it can result in Puerto Rico losing their cultural uniqueness uniqueness, as well as it can harm many indigenous communities on the island. And again, communities and places on the island that are unique to Puerto Rico, as we've seen the aftermath of Hawaii. Then complete independence would mean that all Puerto Ricans would lose U.S. citizenship and access to federal benefits and funding for things like healthcare, education, and public services. But the positives for this move is that the island can preserve their culture and identity, as well as ridding or getting rid of the current colonial framework of the country with the U.S. over it. Then they would have full sovereignty over things like trade, military, treaties, and many more things. This is kind of like a tricky situation because everybody has their own opinions on this. I want to know what you guys think about this. If you believe that Puerto Rico should just remain a Commonwealth but just receive more proper funding from the U.S., or actually become official states of the U.S., or just be completely independent. I want to know what you guys think about this. So circling all back to La Pava. La Pava overall symbolizes cultural resilience, strength, and dignity, making the hat way more than just a hat. With all the history La Pava entails and molds, La Pava represents the molding or the backbone of Puerto Rican society, spirit, and culture.